What's up, y'all? How are y'all doing today? So we are here for my latest webinar. Going to be talking about mastering how to follow your dreams. And I'm basically going to be talking about the steps that I took and the mindset that I was able to develop that gave me the courage to finally make that quote unquote leap of faith that's always talked about. It's talked about by a lot of people. And what is usually missing in between that leap of faith and the decision, and the yearning to follow your dreams is the steps, the bridge in between, crossing that bridge from not knowing to and knowing your purpose and getting to the place where you're actually living that purpose. So I'm going to share with you all of the things that helped me change my mindset, helped me get the courage to actually do it, and helps me continue on through the path, which is very important. Okay, so we're going to start this webinar right on. And if y'all want to chat with me, go ahead, chat with me, send me a question, I'll answer it, and we're going to get going here. So I'll share my screen with y'all. Give me 1 second. I'll go to the beginning, actually. Now, let's do the screen share. All right. We out here. Okay, so tonight, what we're going to be talking about, learn to master following your dreams, a live event presented to you by, of course, FeedShine. So my goal tonight is to help you figure out your purpose, okay? Help you figure out your purpose. 2, help you gain the confidence to go after your purpose. And 3, the most important part, maintain your faith while pursuing your purpose. So tonight's schedule, as we always have it, I'm gonna break it down for you in 4 sections. Section 1, what is purpose and do we all have one? Section 2, how do I find my purpose? Section 3, okay, I know my dreams / purpose, but how do I follow them and keep going? And section 4 will be what we talk about on the next webinar. So why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I gave up on the idea of living the life of my dreams not too long ago, actually. Then I changed my mind. I always wanted the kind of life I daydreamed about, the one you sit at your work, at your desk at work, and you're watching TV, and like, man, you looking on Instagram, you're seeing all these celebrities having all this fun. Like, man, it sure would be nice to have a life like that. But here I am, here I sit, bored out of my mind. So, here's Chef Roble, one of the people that I look up to a lot. Oprah, Beyonce, of course, all these great people we know, living out their dream, living their purpose, and having an amazing time while they're doing it. But I tried to convince myself that life just wasn't for me. I tried to tell myself that just wasn't in the cards for me, which was depressing. And it was depressing because deep down, I knew I was just bullshitting with myself. I was just scared, which I hated. I was scared that I didn't have what it took to cross that bridge, to actually live the life of my dreams. I was scared that I didn't have what it took to make it. So I tried to convince myself that those other people, they had to have something that I simply didn't. And not going for it was okay. I'm just going to sit here. I'm just going to settle for a nice, comfy life. And that's just going to be it. But my soul would not accept the excuses. So inner peace always eluded me. I didn't have inner peace because my higher self that knew I could do it was battling with my lower self that kept saying, no, just sit here, be safe, do what's safe. So mine, as you can see this picture here, is pretty much a good synopsis of how a lot of our minds go throughout the day. There's so many thoughts and you just cannot find peace. I was angry at myself and I was angry at the world because I wasn't able to live the life I wanted. I tried to make it all better by making more money, which is what we're taught when we're younger, right? Go after the money and you'll eventually, even if you don't live out your quote unquote dream, it's okay because you're rich, right? Because I thought that's what successful people do. I thought as long as I'm not poor, I'm a success. False, incorrect, okay? The poorest of men are those that have to compromise who they are to make a living. That quote is by me. by the way. There was a little part of me that died a little bit every day. No matter how much money I made, there was a little part of my soul that just could not be okay with having to tuck who I was and hide myself for a paycheck. We talk about celebrities a lot about selling their souls for money, but aren't we doing the same thing if we go to a job that we hate every day, that we don't like? We're selling our soul for a paycheck. We're trying to convince ourselves that that's okay. True success is defined by living a full life, by being the highest expression of your true self, not the self that keeps you safe. That's the difference. But we go about it backwards, thinking that money will help us figure out who we are. But this is the key. You need to figure out who you are and find a way to make a living by doing that. Then abundance will flow to you easily because your heart is aligned with abundance. That's how it works. When we think in a manner that says there's not enough for me to be me, and I have to settle for certain things the way that they are, you will inevitably create a life that reflects that thinking. The universe is not going to give you the opposite. Okay? If you think that there's not enough for you to be you, then there won't be. If you think you have to settle for a life, then you will. You do everything based upon your thoughts. Belief in your worthiness is also the key. You have to believe your worth, because there's no difference between me, you, Beyonce, Oprah. There's no difference. They all bleed. They all have number two. They all have to use the bathroom just like all of us. There's no difference between us and them. But you have to believe you're worthy of a life that you want in order for you to be able to get it. Money and status can't make you believe in yourself. We usually chase the money and the status, and then, okay, now I can believe in myself. But you have to have the belief first, and then the money will come, and usually maybe a little status too. Your reality is created from the inside out, not vice versa. So look at this picture. It's a little cat. Little cat thinks it's a lion at heart, you know? And you know that term in the Bible, that verse in the Bible that says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. That is so true. Whatever you believe about yourself in your heart is what you become. It's not about what other people think of you. What you think of you is what you become in this world. And you have to believe in your heart and know that you are worth having everything that you want, because you are. You absolutely are. So do we all have a purpose? Absolutely. Yes, you do. Because if you didn't, you would not have made it out of the birth canal. You wouldn't have been born. Even if you weren't, quote unquote, planned by your parents, you would not be here if you did not have a purpose. Okay? Get your thrust on, because you have a purpose. Everything that is created is unique in its own existence. Even twins that are born seconds from each other, they look exactly alike, are completely different from one another, which means there is something special about you. There is no one on earth that can be you the way that you can be you. And what you have to figure out is what that special gift is that you have. The irony is, though, is the good thing. We all have the exact same purpose. Our gift is how we express that purpose. So what is the purpose that we all have? This is the purpose of everyone that makes up humanity. Our job as individuals is to help each other lead better lives by sharing whatever that thing is that we're good at. Whatever that thing is that excites us, we have to share it with each other to make the world a better place. That's every person's purpose here in humanity. Here's a pro tip. I want you to start thinking of things that you naturally enjoy, that you wish you could make a living doing. I don't care how outlandish it is. If you like picking out yarn, do it. There are people on YouTube right now getting paid to review candles. Okay? There is nothing too, quote unquote, outlandish for you to make a living at doing. Start with what excites you, and ask your friends and family what they would seek you out for if they needed help. Ask them, because usually other people can see what you're good at. If you have a hard time pulling that out, a lot of people can help you. People that know you can help you figure it out too. So again, our purpose is to serve one another by utilizing the unique gift that we each have. Okay, we are here to create the world we want to live in. There's nobody else that's going to do it but the people who live in it. In other words, figure out a way that you can help people by doing something you actually give a fuck about. It's that simple. Figure out a way that you can help other people, because the key is helping and service. It's not about making a bunch of money that you keep for yourself. Figure out how you can help other people by doing something that you care about yourself. So how did I find my purpose? Step one, I started listening to my inner yearnings to freely express who I was. I got tired of not fully expressing myself. I stopped listening to past pain and rejection about my dreams and about what I wanted to do. And think of what you would do if everybody already supported you in it. Like if you had no fear that somebody would say, no, that's not good enough. Say you had a guarantee of 1,000 customers or 1,000 viewers for whatever it is that you wanted to do. What would you do then if there were no limits? All the limits that exist in your mind. So number two, I went back to my childhood and I validated my own dreams. And this is a big thing because I particularly wanted to be a chef when I was a little girl. I always wanted to cook. I knew I wanted to cook ever since I was like 14 years old. But when I made the decision to go to culinary school when I was 18, my parents said that that wasn't good enough. But it's not up to them to think it's good enough. At the time, I didn't understand that. And I carried a lot of pain with me throughout my whole life based upon the fact that somebody else said my dreams weren't good enough. And when I got to the point that it was cool enough for me, I went after it. No one else has to think what you want to do is cool but you. Your opinion is good enough, because if you don't think your opinion is good enough, all you're doing is reinforcing the fact that it isn't good enough. You're reinforcing it because you say you need someone else to believe in it. Your belief in it alone is enough. 3, I started getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Okay, failure is okay. It's all right. Failure is how you figure out your blueprint. Okay, and that's what keeps a lot of us from starting. We're afraid to fail. But failure is all in your mind. And I'll go into more than that in a little bit here. And most importantly, I started doing one more thing every day that was just outside my comfort zone. The only way out of fear is to go through it. Fear you cannot get rid of. You cannot get rid of it. It doesn't matter where you are in your life. It doesn't matter how much money, how much status you get, you're still going to have to deal with fear. But the key to defeating fear is to do one more thing that's just outside of your comfort zone, even if it's just an inch. Okay, you have to stretch yourself to go to places you've never been. The moment you stop worrying about taking the wrong first step and you just take one, the universe will provide you with the next one. That's how it works. The way you get the universe to show up for you is you show up for it. Only by action do we truly find our way, not by words. We can plan all day long, but the universe will not show up for you until you make a move to show that you are serious about it. Doesn't matter if you go the wrong way. There's no such thing. Only thing is results. You create something that you can learn from. Those are what we call mistakes. When you do something that doesn't yield a result, you now have a new way to know that's not how to do it. So what are some simple ways you can take action? Always remember, okay, a mansion is still built brick by brick. It is not built overnight. Start doing one thing and then do the next right thing. And then before you know it, you'll look up and you'll have a whole house built. Number 1, dream. This is my dream. Okay, this is my dream to own. Oh, wait, let me go back. So this is how you start. You build it brick by brick, okay? So this is an example of that, basically. So if you have a dream, your dream, for instance, is to own a chain of restaurants, basically. So what do? What's something that you can do right now, today, that can get you closer to that? Write a menu, okay? When you think about all the things that have to go into building a chain of restaurants, then it's easy to get overwhelmed, okay? Because that's a lot. It is a lot. But what you can do right now, today, to get you closer to that is to write a menu. That's simple. That you can do in a day's time. So write a menu today, and then tomorrow do something else. Another dream. Maybe you want to be a freelance photographer. Simple action. Buy a Polaroid camera, or buy a disposable camera, or start taking pictures with your iPhone. Start building a catalog that you can show people, like, hey, this is my work. Another dream. Maybe you want to be a world famous movie director. Write a script for a 5-minute YouTube film. How long would that take you? Maybe a week? Maybe 2 weeks? Keep building. Okay? Another pro tip. Your purpose doesn't always have to involve fame. Imagine if barbers and hairstylists didn't see playing with hair as purposeful. We'd all be looking rough as hell. We'd be looking rough out here, okay? Everybody has a purpose, but the problem is a lot of times we can't see it because we think only people that are on TV and on the radio have purpose. We all have a purpose. And you have to really dig it out and see what it is that excites you, even if it's cutting grass. There are landscapers making millions of dollars right now playing with grass and dirt. So open your mind up. So next phase. So I know the life I want. At least I think I have a good idea. Now, how do I get it? Like I said before, do one more thing every single day and your map will unfold in front of you. The irony of finding your purpose is that there is no destination. You're constantly creating it as you go. Okay, there's no point where you say, finally, I've reached my purpose. Finally, the glorious life I've always wanted. It's always changing as you go, and you get the steps as you take action. That's how the universe works. I know a lot of times we want to have a whole map before we get started because we want to know if we're going to fail or not. Sorry, that ain't how the universe works. Look at all these people: Steve Harvey, Jay-Z, Oprah, Bill Gates, Chance the Rapper. List goes on. Steve Harvey, Jay-Z, Oprah, when they first started their careers, none of these people knew exactly where they were headed. Oprah had no idea she was going to have a television network 25 years ago. She was on the news. I think it was 30 years ago. She was on news. She was on the news and she was a news anchor. All she did was kept listening to that voice that said, take this step, take this step. That's called your intuition. Jay-Z, when he started rapping, he didn't know years ago that he was going to have a basketball team. He was going to be into sports and athletes and all of that. He just knew he wanted to rap. So that is my point. Just get started and your purpose will unfold in front of you. And another huge thing, do not compare yourself to other people. Focus on your comfort zone and your comfort zone only. Keep forcing yourself an inch past the daily. Your only job is to become a better you. You cannot be someone else because you don't know them. You only know what makes you tick. You only know what makes you uncomfortable. So keep pushing yourself past that and you will grow stronger and more into who you are meant to be. But what if I fail? The biggest question that keeps people from going after it. And I worried about this a lot for a long time. Failure is a matter of perspective, okay? And the term only has the meaning and power you give to it. Remember Thomas Edison? He tried over 1,000 times before getting the light bulb to work. And thank God, thank the Lord he didn't give up because we'd be all sitting in the dark right now. To some of us, trying once or twice and not getting it right is complete failure. To some people, it is. But for those that succeed, stopping is only the real failure. Give up the fear of having to change directions. You may have to change and go a different way and try something different. That's okay. That's how you figure things out. And once you change direction, a new opportunity will present itself. How I changed directions. Quick little story about what I did. For a long time, I stood on the edge of faith, wondering if I should go after it and follow my dreams. And I knew I was going to have to change things about my life. So in order for me to save more money and to really go after it in a way that would make sense for me, I gave up my apartment. I sold all of my shit in my apartment. And if you had told me this 2 years ago that I would have done this, I would have looked at you like you had 3 eyes because that didn't connect with me at the time. But I gave up everything that wasn't conducive to my immediate survival so that I could pursue this thing full time. And I ended up moving into a nicer neighborhood than the one that I lived in when I was paying full price for an apartment. My needs are taken care of. I have everything that I need. And I'm able to pursue my business in a way that's comfortable for me. Don't be afraid to give up what you've always known. If you keep doing the things that you've always known, you will get what you've always known. Don't be afraid to change directions. Doesn't matter what other people think of you. Just keep going and change how you're going about it. Don't get so attached to your idea of making it because it's not about you. Somebody that I went to a seminar recently that is a huge motivational speaker said, as soon as you make it about you, you're dead set for failure. Because it's not about you. It's about who and how you can serve others. Okay? When you make it about you, then you're dead in the water because you've lost focus of your purpose. And it's not to make sure that you're safe. It is to help other people. Like I said, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a chef. And now I am. Now I get to do that on a daily basis, and I love it. But had I stayed so fixated on needing that, needing to get that, I wouldn't be on this webinar with you right now. I wouldn't have opened my mind up to the possibility of being a teacher, of being a motivational speaker, because I would have just been stuck on being a chef. But the universe has so much more in store for you than you could ever imagine. Just like Oprah has a television network now. If she had stayed fixated on being a news anchor her whole life and being the best news anchor that there can be, she would never be where she is now. But you have to let go of control. The need to make it comes from a need to be validated. You're already valid because you are here. Your existence is already valid. So there's no need to necessarily make it. Okay, you've already made it here. You're here. You're not potential. Potential is that which might be created. You are creation, and a damn fine example of it. Therefore, all that you think you need already exists inside of you. Okay, potential might come, but you have been created. So therefore, all that is creation is you. So in a nutshell, the way to your purpose is to surrender to the personal duty you have of working through your fears for the benefit of others and thus yourself. As you work through your fears, you heal yourself and you help other people heal too. Give up the need to appear perfect so that you can show up for the people that need you, including you. I'll give you a fine example. I've had issues with expressing myself my whole life, but deep down, that's what I yearned to do the most. And what kept me from doing it is I didn't want to make a mistake. I don't want to seem like it wasn't perfect. I wanted to be like all the YouTube stars that have thousands of followers. And that kept me from getting started. Okay, I had to give that up because there are people out here right now that need me to show up and need me to share the knowledge that I have for their benefit, because it's not about me and my appearance. And as I do that, and as I express this to you and everybody else that watches it, I heal my fears of expression. That's what I mean. So failure is an illusion. There's only action and inaction. Okay, you do or you don't. And the world is just a sandbox. So lighten up, okay, and treat it as such. You got this. You got what it takes. You see, when there's a little kid in a sandbox, they're just playing. They're trying different stuff. If the little castle that they build falls over, okay, they build another one. That's how you have to treat the world. Don't take it so serious that if you don't get it right, that you're an ultimate failure. If this thing doesn't work, don't even give yourself an opportunity to feel bad. Just move on to the next thing. Like, all right, that didn't work, so let's make this happen. Let's do this. And if that don't work, okay, we're going to go this way. Keep going until something sticks. And then just keep playing with it. So three tools to follow your dreams. Figure out how you can help people. Like, that's the biggest key. Figure out how you can help other people with what you already have. What is something you argue for that could help others? What is something that holds a really significant place for you? For me, for instance, I want to help people find their purpose. I want to help people know that it's okay for them to be them. They don't have to change and fit into some sort of box in order to be quote unquote successful. That's passion. That I'm passionate about that. Okay. How can I help other people do that? Through doing things like this. A barber is passionate about making people feel good about themselves. Okay. Helping people. Again, figure out how you can help others with something that you're passionate about. And get real too. Get real and downsize. Get rid of anything that is not necessary for your realization of purpose. Okay, you may not be able to get your nails done like you used to. You may not be able to get your hair cut. I cut all my hair off because I got tired of going to get haircuts. You know, that's something I cut out. That's not necessary for me to serve my purpose. And when the time comes, I can get all that stuff back. But get rid of anything that's not necessary for you. Save as much money as you can so that you can put all your energy and money towards the thing that you want to move you into your purpose. And number 3, hang loose. Hang loose and keep moving. Stay unattached to the outcomes. If something goes wrong, don't take it as, oh, I'm such a failure, or I messed up, or I fucked up. Just take it as a signpost to go a different direction. That's it. Be willing to change directions often, because you're going to change them a lot. When you're an entrepreneur and when you're building your own business, you're going to have to be willing to forgive yourself quickly. That is a big key. You got to be able to forgive yourself quickly and easily and move on. Because the more you stay in that place of feeling bad and getting down on yourself because you made the wrong decision, quote unquote, that keeps you from making the next one. So keep moving. Forgive yourself quickly and move on. Any questions? Hit me on Facebook, Kiva Miller, Twitter, XConfucius, or go Feedshine, or you can reach me directly at inspiration@feedshine.com. The next webinar, and I'm excited about this one. This one is going to be about learning to master the 30 days to health. This is a picture of me on left here 4 years ago versus now. I don't have dress anymore, but as you can see, I've always been small, but I had a pretty drastic physical change, and a lot of that had to do with just simple stuff that I changed about my lifestyle. And I'm going to teach them all to you, different things you can buy at the store, different practices that I do that help me become slimmer and trimmer. And yeah, and I'm going to share all those great things with you. So that's going to be on October 13th, 2016 at 8 p.m. Check it out. Check it out. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. All right. And I'm back, so I hope y'all enjoyed that. So we'll be here October 13th for the next webinar on 30 days to health. Yeah, I'm glad y'all were able to enjoy it and join me tonight. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Until the next webinar Thursday, I will see you then. Be easy, be safe. Peace.